Welcome to the February 25th, 2020 Recreation Commission for the City of Daly City. For those wishing to address the Recreation Commission on any item or the agenda or under public appearances and oral communications, please complete a speaker card located at the entrance to the City Council chambers and submit to a staff member as early in the meeting as possible. Persons with disabilities who require auxiliary aids or services in attending or participating in this meeting should call the Department of Library and Recreation Services as soon as possible prior to the meeting. This meeting is called to order. First up, can you stand for the pledge to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Commissioner Flamenco.
Here.
Commissioner Pastor.
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz.
Here.
Is Vice Chair Landos and Chair Luna.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
First up is the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion for the approval for
I'd like to
agenda?
enter a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And next up, approval of the minutes for January 28, 2020. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I get a motion to approve the minutes from January 25? No,
Okay.
January 28th to 2020.
Awesome. Yep, I second that motion.
All those who approve?
Aye.
And next, director's report.
Good evening, Chair Luna, members of the Recreation Commission, and our fine audience here this evening. As you recall, over the last couple of Recreation Commission meetings, there's been discussion about the lack of outdoor basketball courts, especially in the northwestern part of Daly City around Westlake Park. Just to refresh everyone's memory, in the not too distant past, kids would often play basketball at their school playgrounds after school. There are lots, if you look at an aerial map of Daly City, there's lots of schools with playgrounds with basketball courts. The school district started enforcing, I guess, a long-standing policy of not allowing kids on school grounds during non-school hours, unless they were in a specific program. So that essentially took away opportunities for the kids to play basketball after school, and there really is very few opportunities for outdoor basketball in our parks, and we have them at Hillside, Lincoln, and Gellert. We do not have any outdoor basketball courts at Westlake Park. Oh, also Marchbank, yes. Anyway, so joining us this evening is Mr. Richard Chu. He's the director of the Department of Public Works for Daly City, and he's going to share a little bit of detail on one of the ideas we've been kicking around, and this the first public discussion of the proposed changes at Westlake Park. Mr. Chu.
Yes, good evening, Chair Luna and Commissioners. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm here to show you kind of the plan in regards to Westlake Park and in terms of some of the proposed changes out there. We have a project coming up to resurface the courts out at Westlake Park and some other parks as well. Currently, Westlake Park has 4 tennis courts. There is a proposal right now in regards to converting 2 of the tennis courts, making one of them into a large basketball court, as Joseph has mentioned, and then the other court would be converted into 2 pickleball courts. Pickleball is getting to be very popular, and so the proposal is to have 2 pickleball courts in place of one of the tennis courts. Pickleball courts are a little bit narrower, and so it allows us the ability to put in a basketball court where one of the tennis courts are. Basketball courts are wider than the tennis court. And so this is the proposal that we have currently. This is the plan that we intend to go out and advertise, assuming everyone's on board with the proposed layout of the plans. It does include resurfacing of the courts, addressing any low spots, drainage issues, standing water, and then it will consist of restriping all of the courts. The basketball court will need 2 new basketball systems for the hoop and the backboard itself. Pickleball will be new nets, as well as some of the tennis courts where they'll be raised to meet the guidelines of those requirements. So with that, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Is that the parking area? Or what's that?
On the left is the playground area. And you can see that in the half circle, that's the playground structure, and then further to the left is the parking lot area. And below this, on this sketch is the baseball, softball field.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to see, but it's hard to see from here. But what's the distance between the 2 pickleball courts? Just so we could get a rough reference. Oh, I could just. Oh, tell me. Okay, so about 16 feet.
Yeah, about
16 feet. Okay.
8 feet to the new fence,
Okay.
dividing the 2.
Through the chair, Mr. Chu, the dotted separations that we see there between the basketball courts and the 2 pickleball courts, is that kind of like a certain height type barrier or?
Between the basketball court and the 2 pickleball courts is a new fence.
A new fence?
Yes, to separate the basketball court from the pickleball. And then between the pickleball courts will be a new fence as well, a shorter fence.
Oh, okay. Just to prevent the ball or the items from getting to the other playing area?
That's correct.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Can the basketball area can be also volleyball? No. Or, like the dimensions are similar to volleyball, but it's a smaller space and sometimes it has double line over it? No.
It's not set up that way currently. I guess that's something that can be discussed in regards to what
I'm
is the
just saying,
desire,
'cause
but then you have to figure out in terms of setting up the net and how that will work out.
Because sometimes they turn basketball into volleyball.
It's a lot
court.
easier for indoor courts to do that
do
conversion.
that,
It's
yeah,
a
of
little bit more
course.
difficult for outdoor courts
Yeah.
to set that up.
Is there a fence also in between the tennis court and the pickleball courts?
There is none proposed
Okay.
at the moment. Tennis and
Because it's similar.
pickleballs, they're pretty similar, and it's not uncommon for those to kind of, be in the same area.
And also you can play pickleball in the tennis court. I guess that's the reason as well.
And through the chair, Mr. Chu, can you just update me on the type of surfacing that you'll be using, planning on the
It's like an
basketball court?
acrylic surfacing.
Okay.
Pretty much the entire court area, it'll be laid out in green color, and then the courts themselves would be in blue color, and it uses an acrylic type of coating, a surfacing,
Okay.
typically for this type of application, for this type
Okay.
of court application.
It's something like, because of the elements that we get in Daly City, won't get too impacted by the elements and,
No, it'll
Over
do
time.
pretty well. I mean, there are some spots where there's issues that we're going to actually remove some asphalt and
Yeah.
replace it and do some patchwork. And again, adjust if there's any standing water.
Yeah.
Then once that's done, then they will come in and do the new acrylic coating throughout the entire court area, and then the contrasting colors.
Okay.
And then follow up with the line work.
great, thank you.
In terms of the basketball hoop structure itself, what type of materials will you be using? For example, would it be like a metal pole arch, or would it be like a more of a professional style outdoor court with like a plexiglass backboard or something like that?
The post most likely will be some type of metal type of post set into the ground. In terms of the backboard itself and what that's going to look like, we haven't gotten to that level of
Okay.
detail to figure it out. But it'll most likely be pretty consistent with some of the other ones that we have throughout the city.
Okay, I'll take a look just to see.
And through the chair, what's the timeline of when we would expect to see progress in terms of breaking ground to do this project?
Well, the plan for this project is to budget it in the upcoming budget cycle. And so if the budget gets approved as proposed, and if everyone's on board with this, the budget will get approved and it'll become effective starting July 1. Once that's in place, then we can finish up the design, the specs, advertise it. You're probably talking about maybe 3 or 4 months, depending on, the interest and
Yeah.
how the bids come back.
Yeah. All right, great. Thank you, Mr. Chu.
Thank you.
The last thing I guess I would add is just knowing a lot of youth here that play basketball, especially in outdoor courts. My only one suggestion is single rim, not double rim on the basketball hoops. Other than that,
Sure.
sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
So,
Kids play a lot of basketball as well. They would share your concerns.
This is great to see. Just, to be able to still have the tennis courts there, and the pickleball courts and basketball to combine is a great idea.
I'll add too that having just come from there, the addition of the lights that were restored this year after being turned off for about 12 years, will also add the element of not just after-school basketball, but up until 10 o'clock at night. It's well lit.
Oh, good.
Be perfect for night basketball too.
All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Through the chair too, on this item, we're not making a decision to go forward, but we are seeking your feedback and endorsement of the concept to continue it on the path to be included in the next capital budget, assuming the funds are allocated for it. So it would call for a vote. Someone could make a motion if you support it.
Yeah, I motion to proceed for voting, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I second that motion.
All in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Aye. Maybe you can ask the architect if it's possible, the volleyball as well. I'm just saying, maybe, Okay.
Okay, that was quick. Our next item will be even faster. And just to give you a little background, as you know, we are the Department of Library and Recreation Services, and you dutifully meet here every fourth Tuesday of the month. And your colleagues on the Library Board of Trustees meet the third Tuesday of every month. And they have proposed in the future having a combined meeting.
Yay.
So it would be the combined meeting of the Library Board of Trustees and the Recreation Commission. And they, at their last meeting, which was last Tuesday, asked to bring forward a couple of dates to see if this is something, one, if you're interested in the concept, and two, if either of the dates that they are proposing work, and we will move forward and schedule their meeting. So the days they are proposing are either Saturday, April 25th, or Saturday, May 2nd. They're looking to start the meeting at 10 a.m., and the meeting venue would not be here. They're proposing one of the meeting rooms at the Boys and Girls Club in the Bayshore Community Center. So I know you probably aren't prepared to necessarily make a decision right now, but if you like the idea and if you're free one of those days, you can email Denise or I with your preference of meeting dates, and we'll go forward and schedule the meeting. It wouldn't be a televised meeting. It would be more of a brainstorming, working meeting. You can roll up your sleeves on a Saturday morning and not have to worry about the cameras. It certainly is open to the public, so we'd welcome public input, but we don't have the ability to televise meetings right now
Okay.
from the Bayshore Community Center.
Thank you. That's a great
Awesome.
opportunity.
I know it's an idea they actually have been kicking around since December, and
Yeah.
they finally, last Tuesday, came forward with those dates. So if they work, we'll look at going forward. If they don't work for the majority of you, we can maybe talk about alternative dates.
Okay.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Thank you.
And that's it for the director's reports tonight.
Great. So moving on to commissioners' reports. Does anyone have a report?
No, I don't have any.
Not from this chair.
No,
Okay.
No, but
last year.
just yesterday, or just this morning, I had the chance to drive by the Margate. I was Is it the Margate watershed?
The reservoir.
Reservoir? Yeah, and had a chance to kind of like stop for a moment and just glance over there and see any activity, and no activity, just neighborhoods would be parking their cars in that lot. But thinking of past presentations of the skateboard idea,
There's a
looking
couple
forward to
people here
hearing
tonight
that. Thank you guys
that
for
will
coming.
talk about that.
I was in anticipation of thinking of when we were going to have the next presentation, and lo and behold, it's answered. We have presence here, so I'm looking forward to hearing thoughts and discussion on that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not on the agenda this evening.
Yeah.
I had no idea we were going to have this many folks here, otherwise we would have scheduled it.
Yeah.
Certainly, they're welcome, each of them, to come up and make comments during public comment, which will follow the announcements. But I will say that the park, I've been out there, I mean, I've taken the city manager out there, I've taken the director of water wastewater out there, I've taken some of our employees out there to look, and it is the most underutilized real estate in the city of Daly City. It once served as a Margate Park. Denise was certainly around in those days. There were tennis courts. I believe there were basketball courts.
Tennis courts.
All tennis.
Yeah.
Probably like 8 or 10 tennis courts out there. And a little clubhouse with showers and lockers. And at some point in the early 2000s or late 1990s, the decision was made to close it, and it's been sitting there. It's a functioning reservoir that serves the city of Daly City as a water supply. But in terms of the rest of the real estate out there, there's a small parking lot and a surface that certainly I envision would be perfect for a skate park.
Right.
To date, there's not a concrete plan. I've taken a lot of people out there to try and convince them, and I think there's some people in the audience tonight that might support that idea. But we don't have it on the agenda tonight, but it's something, again, maybe invite the Director of Public Works back. Ultimately, just to clarify, we don't build things in library and recreation. We're dependent on our partners in the Department of Public
Right.
Works. We can certainly lobby for that, and I know there's been a lot of disappointment in the community, skateboard community in particular, since the skate park across the street from City Hall was closed down.
Right.
So we're definitely interested in finding a new site, and I think people that have visited that think it's a better, larger, more accessible site. So it's a matter of,
What about I was looking on Google Maps, the Frankfurt Park. That park is always, when I pass by, it's always empty. But,
on Frankfurt, Dan Gilbreth Park?
yeah, that is in Action Street, all that way in the top, is
Yes.
right in the corner.
Dan Gilbreth, I think is the park she's talking about.
Gilbert?
Well, Google says Frankfurt Park. That I see it is always empty, it has few people, because there is no parking there, but all the kids, it's really nice for skateboarding, because it's all,
It's pretty small.
yeah, it is pretty small, but I have seen skateboards park that are even smaller, like in San Francisco, right next to BART station. That park is a little bit similar in extension than, it's not too bad. And what I like is up in the hill, and I see a lot of skater boys around that neighborhood because it's a lot of hills. So I don't know, and I see it always empty, but it needs some transformation, obviously. But I don't know. What do you think? Maybe.
That park was rebuilt about 2000, 2001, and it may be due for another rebuild.
And then we can change it to a skateboard park, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying.
And we're still at our commissioners' reports. I'm sorry, I got carried away.
What other?
Anything else?
No, nothing else for me. Thank you.
Okay, I guess we can continue as we open
We
up.
can jump into announcements, and then you will have your opportunity to get up under public comment. Real quickly, we got some events coming up next month. On Saturday, March 14th, we will return to the Serramonte Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with our summer fun fair, and for especially the parents, families that are looking for ways to occupy the summer, we will have information about all the different summer camps we'll have coming up. And then on Saturday, March 21st, the following Saturday at Westlake Park, your colleagues from the Daly City Youth Advisory Committee are hard at work as we speak, putting together Vision 2020. It's empowering youth through experience and skill sharing. So it'll be a teen empowerment mini conference over at the Westlake Complex. I think it'll be centered in the Merced Room, I believe. And then into April, Friday, April 10th at 6:30, it's the Spring Showcase, the talent show for teens. On Saturday, April 14th is Spring Fun Day at Westlake Park in conjunction with our partners from the Lions Club. It's an egg hunt, and the first 500 kids that register will get goodie bags. And there'll be other entertainment and activities there that day, and hopefully good weather. On Saturday, April 18th, the Under the Sea party at Giamono Pool, and that's from 12:30 to 2:30. And on Thursday, May 28th, our Active Adult Senior Fitness and Resource Fair at Pacelli Gym. And that's during the day on Thursday, May 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And this is our third annual event over there, and it's really well attended by seniors from throughout the area. Turn it back to the chair.
Great. So up next, we open it up to public comments. We have a few speaker cards that were submitted today. So first, can we call on Taranin Murphy?
Hello,
Hi.
I'm back from the October meeting.
Welcome.
I'm just proposing some ideas of what the skate park could be. First, it has to be recreation for all. It has to have everything from youth to like advanced skaters. For example, just can't be a half pipe because little kids that don't know how to skate yet can't go in there and just have fun when it's just a half pipe. Second off, it has to be able for public transportation to get through. Basically meaning public transportation has to be near it, so it will be suitable for kids under the age of driving limits. And lastly, it has to be in a safe environment with a lot of lighting.
Right.
Thank you. These are great suggestions. Any others? Anything else to add?
I've gathered some of my people together, and some people came on their own accord, but we're basically just asking for a place to skate. There's no places to skate. Actually, Ben Franklin just opened up a skate club, but that's only for Tuesdays and Thursdays, so it won't be suitable for Sundays and Saturdays and days that we have off.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need a place to skate, so we won't get like pulled on the lawn and stuff like that.
Through the chair, Taryn, of some of the skate parks that you've visited around the community, with the ideas that you just shared with us, does any skate park nearby come to mind that maybe the panel can go visit and see what your vision is?
I would recommend, I don't know.
Okay.
Most of the places that I've gone to, they're normally you have to build all over again. But normally like a skate park with a half pipe or a ramp and then a ledge, and then just like places for like just a ramp that you don't need to drop in for little kids to use would be perfect.
Okay. Good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jake Dane Lee.
I didn't know those were speaking cards. But hi, how's it going, guys?
Hi,
Hello.
good.
For representing Jamestown SF, I work with Jonah right over there. he's an actual skate teacher. And the whole reason for me coming out here is just to support the youth in Daly City, because, I don't know, seeing what skating does to these youth is actually building community. And I never knew that before, but that's actually why I started skating a lot. And just to see that there's no skate park anymore for these youth to gather and just have a family together kind of sucks. And so that's why, yeah, I didn't have a speech or anything. So.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
you.
All right.
Next up, Alana Wong.
I promise I'll stop coming.
You're always
Please,
welcome.
please keep coming.
I'm really excited about the plans. Those are awesome. I'm super hopeful that it happens in the near future. I do have a bunch of kids asking me when they're going to get access to the gym. They were super excited about possibly getting a day after school to access Westlake Gym for a youth basketball open gym. My other question was, oh gosh, I'm getting nervous. My other question was, well, I do have another son that's a skateboarder, and I will say, I almost took videos of the kids skating in Westlake Shopping Center. It's so dangerous. They just want, like, they're just in the parking lot. They just want to skate on those little parking bumper things and the curbs. They're just trying to learn how to do tricks, and it's so dangerous because since they don't have anywhere to go, they're hanging out in the shopping center, and that's scary. For my 12-year-old keeps asking to go out and skate, and I'm like, where? I don't want you going. And, oh, I know. So I had this idea. When I grew up in San Francisco, all the park and rec centers had like a youth, I don't want to say all, but the ones I went to, the playgrounds had like the rec center would allow youth, like there would be a ping pong table, some board games, a phone, a bathroom, like a place where youth could congregate. And I think that that's something that, it seems like the middle schoolers are kind of left out. The elementary schoolers are kind of covered here. The high schoolers seem to be well adapted, but the middle schoolers don't have a place where they're welcome to hang out. They get kicked out of the library regularly because they're loud and they want to eat. They want to socialize. And that's a big problem. I know they get kicked out regularly. But I think if we could give them a space where they're allowed to congregate and even fundraise or sell snacks to offset costs or something, but I think that would be awesome for our community if there was a youth rec center type of place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was talking to you about that. Because I would want to bring, I believe middle school right now and elementaries drive through video games. So that's something that I have addressed before is the fact of maybe start doing some type of events what includes video games for the kids to drag attention, because it's a career now. It's a university career where kids can make a lot of money just playing video games or being perfect at it. And I think is where a lot of attention is. So maybe we can, if it's possible, to incorporate maybe in the future budget more events that include video gamers, so that sector of middle school can be included, because I know all the kids in middle school like video games right now.
Question for you guys. Did we ever have any type of like drop-in recreation program, like a teen center where, like, as she described, to come in and just hang out? And I understand like supervision and stuff like that and liabilities and things like that, of that nature, but have we had a program like that or just like a drop-in?
Way back in the 1990s, there was a place called Neutral Territory, roughly in the area where the theaters are, Universe era. That closed down to make way for the development that is there today. It was never replaced. We certainly have activities that teens are welcome to, but we don't have a teen center. Some other neighboring communities, Foster City does, and a couple cities down on the peninsula have.
Yeah, I've seen
Have-
Foster City. They have the skate park in front of it, in front of their teen center as well.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah,
In
so-
Foster City, they have a skate park and a teen center together. And San Carlos as well,
Okay.
as a teen center.
Okay. And it's been quite some time. I can understand. It's
Thank you.
even though like there's open space, like open indoor recreation area, it's still a concern for safety hazard if there's no staff or anything like that. But I'm sure there's a compromise that perhaps. Okay.
Yeah, definitely after-school hours at War Memorial is very inviting for middle school kids. Yeah, she said the libraries too are popular places.
And what about the information that you said about the gym? The
Right now
basketball?
it's basketball season. I believe when basketball ends, we will have the same sort of format that we have at War Memorial. We'll introduce at Pacelli Gym program there up until 6 o'clock. But as soon as basketball season wraps up, late March, we'll have after-school hours.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay, next up, Jonah Mendina.
Hi.
Hey, Jonah.
Hi.
Well, first of all, it's my first time coming to something like this, a discussion like this. So I wasn't really expecting so many people being here to also support it. But honestly, I feel like there would be more people if we made it something public, like everyone come out to support it. So I just want to make note that like the attendance here today would be like tenfold if we really put the word out there that, a skate park would be something that Daly City wants to, reconsider and start thinking about moving forward. That being said, it's very humbling and I'm honored to be here in front of you guys to speak. And also, like Jake said, I'm passively representing Jamestown Community Center in SF, where they work with schools on site during the day and after school, just providing another source of role models and just assistance to the students there in several ways. The way I do that is through skateboarding, and I've just seen how, someone who just picks it up in one day can already get the benefits of determination and community and so much more things. That being said, just comments on some of the stuff that was already said, just to build on hearing about like the Margate skate park and stuff like that. I didn't even get to see that. And same thing with the Colma skate park, if you guys remember that. I didn't ever get to skate that. So the only skate park that I've seen in my lifetime in Daly City was the one over here. And honestly, it was never really something that the community of Daly City, or mostly the Daly City skateboarders, were necessarily proud of. It just wasn't necessarily the best park, especially in comparison to the other skate parks in our neighboring cities. Potrero comes to mind. Soma just opened up a few years back. South City has a new one. The ones that I think of that I think you guys would benefit taking a look at would be the skate parks in San Mateo. There's two of them. They're both concrete, so in terms of durability and like longevity of the skate park, I think those are really good examples to go off of. They're both concrete, like I said. Visually, they look kind of similar, very clean looking, but just stylistically different. So they both provide different kinds of ways to approach skateboarding. But yeah, my only concern with Margate skate park is just that it's right next to like people's backyards. So, like just like the basketball court, you would want it open until 9 o'clock, like with lights on. I think having a skate park open that late would be great, because the youth skate it, and then maybe adults like myself who don't get off until late would be able to skate it at night to a reasonable hour without the people who live around there complaining. But in my research, just looking around the city, I know you said that you saw a place that would be great for skateboarding. I feel like that can be said for a lot of locations that I've seen personally, and I'm not sure about the one that you've seen, but like...
It's top of the hill.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
I mean, the point I'm trying to make is that there are so many possible locations
Yes, of
in Daly
course.
City that like there's just real estate being unused. Ones that come to mind is like up at the top of Sullivan where CVS is, there's just that empty lot next to those apartments. That's just one that comes to mind. The tennis courts by Westmore that have been abandoned for longer than I can remember at Westmore Park. So
I think locations is like something that can be discussed openly, or it should be. But yeah, I mean, whatever needs to be done, I mean, hopefully we can connect on that. But if it's a question of like why, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of reasons of, like me and my friends, for example, or like a lot of people will go to a city to skate, to go to their skate park, and then they'll spend their money on the businesses nearby. So it's like, revenue coming to local businesses and stuff like that. Yeah, and just like a community space where, people can grow. I mean, from when I've started skating over 10 years ago, I've seen generation after generation. I mean, it's only like 5 years, but like people go off to college and stuff. But every so often I see a new batch of young skaters who are coming out of middle school. And so I think a place for them to like gather and to call like their own, so they don't have to, I mean, of course, going to other cities is cool, but it'd be nice for Daly City to have its own space where, we can be proud of, where it's, not like you go on YouTube and it's like, worst skate park I've ever been to, or on Yelp, it's like 2 stars and like just has really bad reviews, So I think that's just like the reason why there's such a output for a new Daly City skate park, is because it's not only the fact that we don't have one, it's just even when we did, it wasn't really something that, I guess the city like really looked at something with a lot of value. I think it was just kind of like, I don't know how long it had been there, but it definitely wasn't necessarily the best location. It's kind of like on a downhill slope, so there's only one way to go down and then you walk back up. Most skate parks have a flat, so you can go in different directions. And I mean, that's pretty much it. I think I speak for everyone when I say like, we just really would like a place that's respectable, and that we can go there and really like feel like we're part of it. That's really what it's about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jonah?
So, for these two counseling to know, do we vote for it to motion this, or how does it work?
This is not an agendized item.
What do I mean?
What is your question?
No, for the council to know about this, because we already heard it twice.
They pay attention.
But I thought it's the same thing, that we have to vote for it to have a motion up there.
There's nothing on your agenda. So when you have your Brown Act refresher class, you cannot discuss an item that's not on the agenda.
But
Just for people in the audience, if you're not familiar with the Ralph M. Brown Act, a public body such as the Recreation Committee or Commission cannot take on an item of business that has not been publicly posted on the agenda. Skate park is not on this. We can take all of your comment under public comment, but we really shouldn't. We should refrain from engaging in a dialogue because it's not on the agenda. But I think, for what it's worth, a lot of people know that there's a population out there that wants a skate park. It's not a new topic for us. It's finding the site and the funding and resources to build a new skate park. I will say that 2 of the locations mentioned by the last speaker are private property, are not property of the city of Daly City. So we are a little bit limited on, we would want to incorporate a skate park under a property that's under the control of the city of Daly City, not a school district property or other private property.
Right.
Anyway, sorry for that.
And we have one more, Stephen Morrison.
Stephen Morrison, and so I've grown up in Bay Area, born and raised in Alameda, California, and I heard about the meeting tonight from a student at the school that I work at, Tiernan. He let me know that was going on, and I called the city for 2 weeks trying to pinpoint when, and they said there's a meeting yesterday, but no meeting today. So I listened to him, I showed up, and because of him, I know, but I could have had 30 kids here to talk about this, because we started a skateboard club at Ben Franklin. Within the last couple of weeks, we got approved to have a small skateboard club on Tuesdays and Thursdays for an hour after school, because Daly City Park I really liked the ramp. It was not the best, and I understand why it's been torn out because there was holes in the ramp. But I grew up taking BART across the Bay Area, visiting every city, skating at all the skate parks in the city, and Daly City was one that I went to a lot. I would skate from the Daly City BART station to the park. So I back up what Tiernan says when he says that it needs to be close to public transportation, because that's a whole day trip that I would just go out on and enjoy. And BART is great for that, and it's by a bunch of skate parks. In Alameda, when I was in the 8th grade, we wanted to get a skate park built, and we got the land donated from the Alameda Navy base. And, sorry, I'm a little nervous. Let's see. And so the high school had a program where they were having demonstrations. Skaters would come out and show support. And we got money donated from the city, but at the time it was 1999, and there wasn't many skateboard park manufacturers or skateboard park builders. And so we dedicated our time and built Alameda Skate Park ourselves with about $25,000, which is not a lot for skate parks nowadays. After that, skate parks boomed, and there have been skate parks built in just about every city in the Bay Area. After high school, I've worked at a camp, I've worked at a skate shop, I've worked for a skate company, and I've worked at a skate park. I worked at Berkeley Skate Park, and it was my job to monitor the parks and close them with other fellow skaters. And because we had that, we were able to build a community of skaters that could show up, and there's no requirement to skate, so you just get to be involved. There's no fee to play, you just show up. And kids that don't have those opportunities for baseball or football or soccer can just show up to the skate park and they're accepted. So we had a lot of that, and those kids have now grown up, graduated high school, gotten jobs in skateboarding because they had that and they couldn't afford to go to college. I've come to a lot of city council meetings for parks in Emeryville. There's a skate path that is right behind Pixar, and I met with people in the city to help just figure out what was going on with that. And that more space is better because there's a lot of different styles of skateboarding. The more space you have, the more you can do with it. A lot of people in this area like big transition, which is big vert ramps, but a lot of people in this area also like ledges, which is like plazas, city plazas. And it's ideal if you can get a little bit of both to please everybody. There's a lot of great companies out there now. That's what you guys have at your disposal right now, is companies who are building skate parks across the world. I would say one of the best skate parks that I've seen built is Potrero del Sol, which is in San Francisco's Mission District, right by the freeway. That's built by a company called Grindline, I believe, or Dreamland. Those are two companies out of, I think, Oregon and Seattle. But they are skateboarders and they skate the stuff they built while they're building it. And that's important because you can really do the stuff wrong. For instance, Alameda is terrible because we didn't know what we were doing. There's no rules, we just went. And the transitions are odd and they're hard to skate. But the guys who at those companies know what they're doing. And they've made Oregon and Seattle some of the best places in the world to skate. Every small town has a skate park with like a 30-foot concrete ramp, and it's a destination for skateboarders throughout the world. Daly City's skateboard history is pretty heavy, pretty epic. Ben Franklin's skateboard history is pretty epic. I learned about some of the biggest skateboard companies have come out of people who grew up right in this city. And for this place to not have a skate park seems kind of backwards, because this is like where a lot of Los Angeles companies came, like some Los Angeles companies came from. So the hills that are here, you're gonna have skateboarders on them. People come to this city to skateboard just for the hills, and San Francisco as well. So it's gonna be something you're gonna have. So yeah, we have a little box at Ben Franklin, or we will have a little box in the coming weeks for kids to skate, but it's not enough, and it's not gonna please everybody. It'll please people who wanna skate a little bench, but it's not gonna please people who wanna skate transition. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have any questions for me. I'd be happy to help. I would love to have those kids here. I plan to see if I can get them to write a letter to you guys. Hopefully show up to meetings, but I didn't want to bring 30 kids and their parents out if I wasn't even sure if it was going on. But I trusted him, and I showed up, and I'm glad I did. So.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steph.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you.
Perhaps we could put this on the agenda for not next meeting, but the meeting after, so we can have a discussion on it?
I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go for that.
So in the one in April,
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, April.
in April.
Thank you so much to the community for being here. It's
Yeah.
really important for us to know this, to hear this, and to hear about Daly City's skateboard history. I went to Ben Franklin as a kid and remembered seeing a lot of friends skateboarding, but I didn't know the history, so really appreciate that. And we'll definitely make sure that the council knows about this.
No, and I think I'm a mom and I have 2 boys. I don't know what they're gonna decide to practice as a sport, but I do understand your concerns as parents, because I have seen kids going all over the streets here in Daly City and jumping over sofas that are in the street, and I know that's not what we want, and as parents, we want to keep them safe, and we want them to practice or whatever they want to practice in a safe environment. So I do hear your voices, and I hope we can do something for the youth, for the parents, because like you say, like even transportation, if I want to leave my kid to go practice, it's necessary to have a transportation close where they're going to practice the sport they want to practice. Yeah, so hopefully we can do something.
Through the chair, just want to say thank you to Taryn for seeing your vision to come through tonight. And, your community, and to kind of like finish off by spreading the word to your instructor, Stefan, to give us the full picture of where things have transpired in terms of who had come out of Daly City that is in skateboarding, and why is it not here? So, thank you again.
Awesome, guys. That's it.
Great.
Thank you. At this time, this meeting is adjourned to Tuesday, March 24 at 7 p.m. right here in the chambers.
Hey, thank you.